Have you ever wondered what it's like to be lost in space? Picture this, the year is 1970, the height of the space race. Apollo 13, a mission of grand ambition, is about to make headlines. The crew? Astronauts Jim Lovell, Fred Haise, and Jack Swigert. Their objective, to land on the moon and etch their names into the annals of history, following in the footsteps of their Apollo predecessors. The launch was a spectacle to behold, a testament to human ingenuity. The world stood still, eyes glued to television screens, breaths held in anticipation. The excitement was palpable, electric. The towering Saturn V rocket, a marvel of technology, roared into life, its engines spewing flames and smoke as it began its ascent into the unknown. Hope was in the air, the stakes were high, and the spotlight was on these brave men. On April 11, 1970, Apollo 13 launched from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, with hopes high and the world watching. 2 days into the mission, the unthinkable happened. The tranquility of space was shattered as an unexpected explosion jolted the service module of Apollo 13. This was no minor hiccup. It was a catastrophic event that sent shockwaves through the spacecraft and the hearts of the astronauts on board. The service module, the powerhouse of the spacecraft, had suffered a critical failure. One of the two oxygen tanks had exploded, causing a chain reaction that severely damaged the other systems. The spacecraft, once a symbol of human ingenuity and courage, was now a crippled vessel, drifting aimlessly in the abyss of space. Imagine the scene, the alarm sounding off like a relentless piercing siren, the control panel flashing with a multitude of warning lights, and the spacecraft shaking violently from the force of the explosion. The astronauts on board, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Haise, were thrown into a state of disarray. Their training kicked in as they scrambled to assess the damage and stabilize the ship. But the grim reality was setting in. As they looked out of the spacecraft's window, they saw a cloud of debris, pieces of their own ship, floating away into the black void. It was a chilling sight that underscored the severity of their predicament. Their dream of setting foot on the moon was now a distant memory. The moon, which was to be their destination, loomed ominously in the distance, a stark reminder of a mission that was never to be. And then, the harsh truth dawned upon them: they wouldn't be able to land on the moon. The astronauts' initial reactions were of disbelief and shock. They had trained for years, preparing for every conceivable scenario, but nothing could have prepared them for this. Their mission, their dream, had been abruptly and devastatingly derailed. With the moon landing aborted, the astronauts' new mission was survival. Stranded in space, with limited resources and a damaged spacecraft, their situation was dire. Their focus shifted from exploration to survival, from moonwalkers to survivors. It was a grim twist of fate, but they were determined to fight against the odds. In a spacecraft crippled and losing life-supporting resources, their only hope was to use what remained. The astronauts, in a desperate bid for survival, turned to their lunar module. This was not its intended purpose. The lunar module was designed for landing on the moon, and as a launch pad for the return trip, not for supporting life in the void of space. The lunar module, aptly named Aquarius after the water-bearer of the zodiac, was now tasked with the monumental challenge of keeping the astronauts alive, a role far removed from its original moon landing mission. With their spaceship severely damaged and steadily losing vital resources, the lunar module was their lifeboat, offering a glimmer of hope in the cold, dark abyss of space. Their situation was dire. The lunar module was equipped to support 2 men for 2 days, not 3 men for 4. The life-supporting resources, including oxygen and water, were critically limited. They were on borrowed time and every second counted. And so, the astronauts set to work, combining their skills, knowledge, and sheer determination. They had to improvise, innovate, and overcome a series of challenges. For instance, they had to devise a way to adapt the lunar module's systems to support them for the extended period. The crew also had to ration their limited resources and find a way to remove the mounting levels of carbon dioxide from their cramped quarters. Despite these overwhelming odds, the astronauts refused to surrender to despair. They remained steadfast, drawing on their training, their courage, and their unyielding will to survive. They made do with what they had, turning their lifeboat into a haven amidst the vast, unforgiving expanse of space. With the lunar module serving as a makeshift lifeboat, their journey back to Earth began. They had overcome the initial shock and had set a course for home, but more challenges lay ahead. They were not out of danger yet. The journey back to Earth was fraught with uncertainty, but they were determined to persevere against all odds. Their survival depended on it. Their story of resilience and resourcefulness continues to inspire us to this day. The astronauts' journey back to Earth was far from smooth. As Apollo 13 hurtled back towards home, it was like navigating through a storm in a ship made of glass. The challenges were immense, and the stakes sky high. First, there was the critical engine burn. With the main engine damaged by the explosion, the crew had to rely on the lunar module's engine, a component not designed for such a task. Yet, they had no choice but to trust in its ability to slow them down enough to enter Earth's orbit. Imagine the tension in the cabin, the pressure on their shoulders as they initiated the burn, knowing that even the slightest miscalculation could send them hurtling into the abyss of space. But they kept their cool and with skill and precision executed the burn perfectly. Then came the cold. With power conservation being crucial, the heaters were turned off. The temperature inside the spacecraft dropped drastically. The cold was biting, relentless. The astronauts huddled together for warmth, their breath visible in the freezing cabin. Parallel to the astronauts' ordeal in space, the ground team at NASA, too, was battling against time. They were the unsung heroes, the silent warriors, working tirelessly to bring their compatriots home. They devised solutions, ran simulations, and communicated instructions, all while under immense pressure. Their role was indispensable in navigating the spacecraft through this crisis. But as the Earth loomed closer, a new concern arose: the integrity of the heat shield. The explosion had occurred near the service module where the heat shield was located. Was it damaged? Would it hold up during re-entry? The astronauts and the ground team could only hope and prepare for the worst. This return journey was a test of human resilience and ingenuity. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration and the relentless pursuit of knowledge, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Against all odds, Apollo 13's re-entry into Earth's atmosphere began. On April 17, 1970, the world held its breath as Apollo 13 descended towards the Pacific Ocean. As we recall, the spacecraft was speeding back home, a small speck against the vast cosmic backdrop. The crew had endured a journey marked by uncertainty, fear, and the ever-looming specter of disaster. But now, the final hurdle loomed: the perilous re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. The capsule had to hit the atmosphere at just the right angle. Too steep, it would burn up. Too shallow, it would skip off like a stone on a pond. The minutes ticked by, each one heavy with suspense. Ground control, the astronauts' lifeline, was silenced due to blackout, a period of radio silence caused by the intense heat of re-entry. For 3 agonizing minutes, the fate of the 3 men was unknown. The world could only wait, hope, and pray. Then a crackle over the radio, a voice. "Odyssey, Houston, do you read?" A pause. Then, the sweetest sound. "Hello, Houston, this is Odyssey, it's good to be back." Cheers erupted in mission control and around the world. Apollo 13 had made it through the fiery descent. The spacecraft, now a charred and weathered shell of its former self, splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, just 4 miles from the recovery ship USS Iwo Jima. It was a perfect landing, a triumphant end to a harrowing journey. The astronauts were home, safe and sound. The world exhaled. The saga of Apollo 13, a mission of survival against all odds, had gripped the globe. People from every corner had watched, waited, and hoped together. The mission's success wasn't just a triumph for NASA, but for humanity as a whole. It was a testament to our collective resilience, our capacity for innovation under pressure, and the enduring human spirit. In the face of adversity, the Apollo 13 mission showcased the power of human resilience, ingenuity, and the will to survive. Apollo 13, a mission that was to land on the moon, instead taught us invaluable lessons. In the face of unforeseen adversity, the courage and resourcefulness of the Apollo 13 crew became a testament to human resilience. The incident led to a profound shift in the design of spacecraft, making safety paramount. A new focus was placed on creating robust emergency protocols and improving astronaut training to better prepare for unexpected crises. The mission spurred advancements in technology and engineering that have since been integral to space exploration. It underscored the importance of teamwork, not just among the astronauts, but also between the crew and ground control. It reminded us that success is not just about reaching our destination, but also about overcoming obstacles along the way. Apollo 13, a story of survival against the odds, continues to inspire us, reminding us of what we can achieve when we refuse to give up.